As usual, we'll go through yesterday's topic once so that if you have any doubts, it gets cleared. And let me know if you have any doubts at any point of time. We can go through your doubts to clarify and make the things better for understanding. So in the last class, we were dealing with memory location addresses. So we are looking at how the data is stored in the memory, how it is split, has a units to store the data, and how the addresses are allocated for the memory. So when I say here memory, you can assume it's the main memory. So as a part, I said like this is a main memory. It is split into multiple cells, square box. Each square box we call as a cell. So in this cell, so you have millions of cells in the main memory, that is in the RAM, the green color module. If you remember in the last classes, the green color module, which we call as a RAM, random access memory, where data is randomly can be accessed, not sequential, it's random access. At any point of location, from any point of location, data can be accessed randomly. So that's why it's called random access memory. So we call it as the RAM. It is an example of main memory. So in simply we can say memory. So this entire main memory is split into the square boxes, or we can call each square box I call as you can see the cell. These are storage cells. Each square box is storage cell where you can store a single bit of data. It can be a 0 or it can be 1. So it can store 0 or 1. A single bit can be stored in single cells. So that's why we have millions of cells in the main memory or primary memory. And you can say how many bits we have in a byte, single byte? It's 8 bits. So 1 byte equal to 8 bits. So you can see the first byte. So 8 bits, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 bits together we call as a 1 byte. 8 bits together we call as a byte for this. And remember, for the byte address is allocated. For single byte address allocated. How it is allocated? Starting from 0. First byte address will be 0. Next second byte, next consecutive sequential 8 bits we call as another byte, that is second byte, and its address will be 1. So next sequential bits, 8 bits we call as third byte and its address will be 2. And similarly next 8 bits it will be fourth byte, address will be 3. Next 8 bits we call fifth byte and address is 4 and so on. So remember, address starts from 0, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4. So how many addresses we have, sir, in this way? Until what is the limit of addresses starting from 0, 1, 2, 3, 4? How many addresses? Can anybody say how many addresses there will be? We call it as address space actually. All these addresses call as address space. Can anybody remember in the last class how many addresses we may have? Any guess from the last class? First byte address is 0, second byte address is 1, third byte address is 2, fourth byte address is 3, and so on. We have addresses. How many addresses we have? It's 2 to the power of, yeah, good, Amma. It's 2 to the power of k minus 1. 2 to the power of k minus 1 addresses. K is the number of bits in the address. Remember, k is the number of bits in the address. And why it is 2 to the power of k? Because in a single cell we can store only two values, two possible values. We can store 0 or 1. So only 2 possible values. That's why the possibility is 2 to the power of k. Why it is -1? Because we are starting from address 0. That's why we need to make -1. Okay, right. So one important thing you need to get is the entire memory is divided into cells. Okay, single square box we call as a cell, and each cell can store 0 or 1. You can see 0 or 1, any combination, 0 or 1, only 2 possible values, and consecutive or successive 8 bits we call as a byte. You can see this will be another byte, this will be another byte, and so on. We have all the bytes. So the data successive 8 bits we call it the byte, so on bytes until the end of the main memory we will be having. Actually, did not fill the entire with zeros and ones. If we have data, there will be zeros and ones. Okay. So next, these bytes are combined to form a word. And can anybody say what will be the word length? Possible word lengths? These bytes are combined to form a word. So can anybody say what is the possible word lengths? What the word length can be? If you know, respond. Even though it is wrong, maybe.
32 bit.
Yeah. Any other possible values? Good. Good.
2 power n value.
Yeah, it is 2 to the power of n. So maybe 16. A word length can be 16. Word length can be 32. Word length can be 64. It may range from 16 to 64. So if I take my laptop, the word length is 64 bit. So remember, these bytes, multiple bytes are grouped together to form a word. So in my system, if it is a 32-bit system, the word will be 32-bit. 32-bit means how many bytes will be in a word? If it's a 32-bit word, how many bytes will be?
8.
No, ma, 32-bit word.
4 bytes.
Yeah,
4
4 bytes. So remember, a byte means how many bits? 8 bits. So 32 divided by 8. So it is 4. So remember, you can see 8 bits we call as 1 byte. 8 bits, 1 byte. 8 bits, 1 byte. 8 bits, 1 byte. All these 4 bytes together I call as word in my computer, 32-bit. Okay, so word you can see I kept arrow from here to arrow, and you can see the entire length until this, the entire line I had drawn for the word. So these all bits come under one word. So remember one important thing, data can be read from this main memory in terms of words, a word at a time. Word means the entire 32 bits are read, which comprises of 4 bytes. The entire 32 bits are read at a time or written at a time in terms of words, or other one is data can be read or write in terms of single bytes also. Single byte can be read, single byte can be written. Remember this. Reading or writing from the main memory can be in terms of word at a time, that is 32-bit word, or it can be byte at a time. So reading or writing can be in terms of words or byte. But my question is, address is allocated to the single byte or to a word? Address is allocated to byte. Address is allocated to byte. First byte will be address 0, next will be address 1, and so on. If you want the address of the word, if in my word there are 4 bytes, byte 0, byte 1, byte 2, byte 3, 4 bytes, then address of my word will be first byte address. If there are 4 bytes in my word, the first byte address will be my word address. First byte address, if it is 0, yes, it will be my word address. Ma, can anybody say here what is the address of 5th byte? Address of 5th byte. I'm asking questions so that you can understand the things. If you understand, please respond, or else I will repeat again and again. Address of 5th byte. 4. Why it is 4? Yes, yes. Please respond if you know. Because because I will be in an assumption that you are not did not understand the concept. So I will keep repeating. So you can see address starts from 0. So first byte address 0, next byte address 1, next byte address it's 2, 3, then 5th byte address will be obviously 4 because address starts from 0. 10th byte address is address 9 because address starts from 0. Okay, this is a scenario. So and one more thing, single word, the representation, the bit representation will be from right to left. So you can see this is a 32-bit word. In this, this is starting bit B0, B1, B2, B3, and so on. We have is what is the last bit? B31 because 32 bits. Can anybody say in a signed in signed number when I store signed number in this 32 bit, which bit is used to represent sign out of all these B0, B1, B2, B3 until B31? Which bit is used to represent the sign, plus or minus? Do you remember from the last class? So it's a B31. B31 is used to store plus or minus sign. So it is how it is represented. We will not place here plus or minus. We will place 0 for the plus symbol and 1 for the minus symbol to represent a signed number. So all the remaining bits are used to represent the number, the signed number, but the last one B31 is used to represent the sign plus or minus. Okay, so this is a single word until here. Thereafter, what will be next after this one? From here, what starts? Next word starts from here. Maybe consecutive another 4 bytes in this way, 4 bytes in this way. They together they will be one word, second word. Again, next 4 bytes, third word. Next 4 bytes, fourth word, and so on. And remember, address is given for a byte, single byte. Okay. So the same thing we had discussed in the last class. Memory consists of lot of cells. Each cell can store 0 or 1. A set of n bits we call as a word. Okay. And remember, modern computers, the word length will be as one student said, it's 32 bit. Yes, it's 32 bit. It can be 16. It can be 64 bits also. Okay. Okay. Remember, a unit of 8 bits is called as a byte. These are few basics you need to remember. And I already said how many addresses we have in this memory. So how many addresses? Because for single byte you are assigning a address, and address starting from 0. Next address 1. Next byte address 1. Next byte address 2, and so on. So how many addresses we have? So it will be 2 to the power of 32. Actually, it must be superscript. I did not change it still. 2 to the power of 32 addresses, and each address will be given for 1 byte. Okay, and you can see this 2 to the power of 32 addresses are for a 32-bit address. If the address length is 32-bit, then the number of addresses available are 2 to the power of 32, or we can say 4 GB. Okay, so you can see the numbers can from 0 to 2 to the power of k. Here k is 32. You can see these are the number of addresses ranging from 0. First byte address is 0, next byte address is 1, next byte address is 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, until what is the last one is 2 to the power of 32. If 32 is it's 32-bit address, we use 32 bits to represent the address, then it is 2 to the power of 32 minus 1, because we are starting from 0. So let's assume, for example, 32-bit. So we have 32 bits continuous like array. 32 bits we have like an array 32 continuous. So it's like how many combinations possible in this 32-bit address? It will be 2 to the power of 32 combinations. So that's why we say 2 to the power of 32, because in this 32 bits, each bit can store 0 or 1. Two possibilities. So there are 32 places. So how many combinations possible? It's 2 to the power of 32. For example, instead of 32 bit, I have only 2 bit. How many combinations possible? It is 2 to the power of 2. So check what are the combinations possible if it is only 2-bit address. 0 0 one combination, 0 1 one combination, 1 0 one combination, 1 1. 2 to the power, it's how it get this 4 combination, 2 to the power of 2. Similarly, if you have 3 bits, 3-bit address, how many combinations possible? 2 to the power of 3. Similarly, if you have 32-bit address, how many combinations possible? 2 to the power of 32. It's 2 to the power of km, 2 to the power of 32. Why it is minus 1? Because we are starting from 0. So these many addresses possible, and all these addresses together we call as address space. All these 2 to the power of 32 addresses we call as address space. Done. Okay, remember this 2 to the power of k and this 2 to the power of 32. Done. Okay, because these are the basics, so I want to revise once again. Right. And we know the consecutive addresses are given. Okay, can anybody say what is the address of my second word in this memory? Can anybody say what is the address of first word? First question is what is the address of first word? That is address of this word. Now quick answer, because we need to cover the things. What is the address of this word? Is it 0? Is it 1? Is it 2? Or is it 3? Because this word consists of 4 bytes, right? So first byte address is 0, next byte address is 1, next byte address is 2, next byte address, the last byte address is 3. So what is the address of this word? Can any guess out of all these 4? Is it 0, 1, 2 or 3? Quick guess. Are you there? I see 58 members. Please, I want response. I want actually interactive class. Make a guess out of all these 4 bytes. What is the address of this first word? Is it address 0, address 1, address 2 or address 3? Come forward with a guess. If you delay, I will take another half-an-hour class.
0.
ఇప్పుడు వచ్చింది ఆన్సర్ చూడు, ఇంకో half-an-hour క్లాస్ అనగానే. Right. How many say 0? Any other with any other answer? Anyone with any other answer? Okay, am I able to, you able to chat? See, are able to chat or any restriction on your?
We are able to chat, sir.
Okay, at least in the chat specify the answer. No problem. Okay, so that will be fine. In the chat you can specify with the answer. So you can see in my word consists of 4 bytes. First byte address 0, second byte address 1, third byte address 2, fourth byte address it's 3. So when you say what is the address of first word, it will be the address of first byte. So first byte address is automatically it becomes the address of first word. Can anybody guess what is the address of second word? So first byte address is 0. Done. Sorry, first word address is 0. First byte address also it's 0. First word address also it's 0. Can anybody guess what is the address of second word? Type in the chat.
4.
Okay. How many say any other answer? Ma, any random guess you can make, you can chat. I will not point you with your hall ticket number. I will say the right answer, that's it. So you are free to type any random answers. Okay, good. Next. What will be the address of second word? Can anybody say what is the address of third word? Good. Yes. Right. What is the address of fourth word? Good. That's it. It's 4 plus 4 starting from 0. That's it. Okay. So you can see first word address is the first byte address we'll take. Second word address starts from here. So here we have is the fifth byte. 4 bytes are calculated for this first word. So it's the second word starts from fifth byte. So what is the address of fifth byte? It's 4 because addressing starts from 0. That's it. Okay. For your understanding, I am making the things. Okay. So that's so you can see where it starts. The word starts. So as you specified in your chart, first word address is 0. Second word address is 4. Third word address is starts from 8. Next is 12. That's it. Okay, we call this one as giving addresses to byte. We call as byte addressability. So for how the addresses for the byte will be, first byte address will be 0, second byte address 1, third I'm talking about byte addressing, not word, byte. So for first byte it's address 0, second byte address 1, third byte address 2, and so on it goes. And when it comes to word, we need to do +4 +4. So first word will be 0 +4, second word address will be 4, third word address is 8, and so on. This is for 32-bit. If it is 16-bit, what I need to add? Is it +4? Can anybody say message at least if it is 16 bits? What I need to do plus to get the word address? It's a +2 because 32 ante 4 bytes. Kada 32 ante 4 bytes kabatti I am doing +4. If it is 16 bits, I will do +2. If it is 64 bits, we do +8 to get word address. This is the first word address, this is the second word address, this is third word address, and so on. That's it. Okay. And this one we already seen, big Indian, little Indian, how the addressing will be. These are addresses. First byte address, these square box are the single byte. So first byte address 0, next byte address 1, next byte address 2, next byte address 3, next byte address 4, 5, 6, 7. In the same way I had drawn the square box, the bigger square box just now with pen. So you can see the same box here. 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. These are the byte addresses until 2 to the power of k minus 1 addresses. So when the left side we have is a smaller address, we call as big Indian format. Big Indian format. If left side we have small addresses. Okay. If the left side we have, the right side we have the smaller addresses. We call it as, you can see, right side smaller. It starts from here 0. First byte address 0, next byte address 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. We call this as little Indian format until 2 to the power of k. Okay, so this we are done, and already so this one, if this is the single word from the memory, we had taken single word, so the numbering will be B0, B1 and so on until B31, and last bit will be used to store 0 or 1. For 0 for positive number, this one to reprint, last bit will be reprinted with the 31, that is 0 for positive numbers, 1 for negative numbers. If you want to store signed integer in this one, if you want to store signed integer, the integer is stored, and from B0 to B30, all these bits are used to store the integer. But thing is, B31 is used to store the sign, plus or minus. That is positive number. If it is positive number, 0 will keep here, negative number will keep it. Okay, right. And if you want to store 4 characters in this 32 bits, that is from B0 to B31, if you want to store 4 characters, you can see first character will be stored here, and next character here, next here, next character, because single character occupies 8 bits. Okay, right. And this also we had seen hexadecimal. If you want to store it, split into this 90, 80, 12, 60, and each one can store it in a you can say single byte. 90 hexadecimal. This is all hexadecimal format. 90 is stored in single byte. This one single byte, single 4 bytes, 32 bits. Okay, big Indian, little bit. We are done in the last class. Just I want to write. So this this one also you can go through once. If you want to store string, so it's obviously string is stored in this way, right? A character here, a character here, character here. In each byte, a character is stored. Okay. So how the end of the character is reprinted? End of a string. For example, I have a word like mad, M-A-D. So I will store M here because a single character, 8 bits is enough. M here, I can represent with 8 bits. A, I can represent with 8 bits. D, I can represent with 8 bits. Okay. And the end of the string, how it is represented? Do you remember in your C language, end of a string? End of the string is represented with the help of a null character, right? Null character. So last one, ask this one can be a null character. So M here, A here, D here, this can be a null character. The same thing is explained here. End of the string is represented with a last character. Or even a length can be represented. Mad, length is 3. With that one also we can represent the end of a string. That's it. Okay. Okay. Memory operations. Can anybody say what are the operations possible in your file? Files in C language. Do you have files? Tell me yes or no. In your C language, had you gone through file concepts? Message me yes or no.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. What are the operations possible on file, Amma? Quick answer.
Open, close.
Yes. Good. Any other important? What are the actions you do on a file?
Read, write.
Read and write.
Yes. So those are important. Read and write. So that's the thing we are I'm expecting read and write. So it's like in memory. What are the basic operations you do is you can read the data from the memory and write the data to the memory. When I say memory, what does it mean? What I'm referring to when I say memory?
Address.
When I say memory, main memory, you represent. Yeah, when I say address or anything, I say location. I will use the word location. Okay, so when I say memory, just remember main memory, and it is the RAM, the green color module had shown you. ఏదైనా మీరు ఫిజికల్గా గుర్తు తెచ్చుకోండి, విజువలైజ్ చేసుకోండి, అప్పుడే మీకు అర్థమవుతుంది ఈ సబ్జెక్ట్. గుర్తు పెట్టుకోవడానికి డోంట్ ట్రై టు బటిఫై. So that's why I had shown you the hardware devices and specified them. These are the RAM, these are the green module. It is called as primary memory. So then memory anagane automatically you need to visualize that main memory, which is example is RAM. Okay, so in that main memory, when I say memory, it is the main memory, or we can say primary memory also. The operations we do is read and write operations. Okay, so we do both operations, read or write operations. So from where do I read? I read from memory. Okay, and where it is transferred, Amma? Can anybody say? Data read from a memory, where it is transferred? Data read from primary memory, where it is transferred? Chat or speak. From few last classes we are discussing it. Any random guess, Amma? సెకండరీ మెమరీ నుంచే ప్రైమరీ మెమరీకి వస్తుంది. ప్రైమరీ మెమరీ నుంచి ఎక్కడికి వస్తుంది అంటున్నా. మన డయాగ్రామ్ గుర్తుందా నేను డ్రా చేసింది? దిస్ వన్. ఓకే, నో ప్రాబ్లం. వాట్ ఎవర్ ఆన్సర్ యూ గివ్, యా యూ కెన్ సీ. ఫ్రమ్ ద సెకండరీ మెమరీ వీ గెట్ డేటా ఫ్రమ్ సెకండరీ మెమరీ టు ద ప్రైమరీ మెమరీ వచ్చేస్తుంది. ప్రైమరీ మెమరీ నుంచి ఎక్కడికి వస్తుంది అంటున్నా నేను. In this diagram we have, where do we get ultimate, what is the ultimate goal of data from primary memory? When a read operation on primary memory, data is fetched to where it is fetched. At the end, who will process the data? With the read operation, I am reading data from primary memory. The data is read and it is stored in IR so that this processor will process. ఈ IR MDR కూడా రెండు కూడా they are inside the CPU. Remember, they are inside the CPU. Okay, so MDR, IR both are inside the CPU. So generally data transfers from primary memory. When we give a read operation, data is transferred from primary memory to the CPU. The IR కి వస్తుందంటే IR is inside CPU. So actually diagram lo IR must be inside CPU. I drawn outside the CPU, but it's inside. Okay, so when a read operation, data travels from primary memory to the processor, or we can say CPU. Okay, if I want to do the reverse of this, what is the operation? Write operation. What write operation will do? Can anybody say? Data transfers from where to where? With the write operation, you can see the write signal, the reverse. Data transfers from CPU to primary memory. So remember, read operation is transfers data from primary memory to CPU. Write operation transfers data from CPU to primary memory. So we call it central processing unit, or we can say processors. Okay, so remember, read operation transfers data from primary memory to processor. Write operation, processor to primary memory. Okay, done. So the same thing we had discussed in this slide. We have read and write operations. You can see read operation, primary memory to processor registers. When we say read, how it is read, how read is done with this assembly level instruction, load A. When we say load A is a variable in memory. So it is read and it is transferred to processor registers, and they are stored in processor registers. Can anybody say what are the processor registers we have? where operands are stored. You remember those n registers we have? You can type or you can speak. R0 to Rn, the processor registers. Okay, so for the read operation, data is read from main memory to the processor registers. Here, this is an example instruction, load A. A is a variable which is referring to a particular address where some data is there, something like 5 value. That 5 is read with this load A. This 5 is loaded to the processor register. Example of processor register is R0. Even we may have R1, R2, R3, n number of registers. There may be 32 registers also. If you remember in this diagram, the registers are in this diagram. If you go back. This is the registers. These are the registers I'm talking about. When I say load A, from here main memory, from the prime memory, the A value, that 5. So A is an variable which is referring to a particular location where 5 is stored. So that 5 is copied into, loaded into R0. If it is full, maybe it is loaded into next register which is not full, R1. So this happens with load A. Okay, and for example, to reverse, from the register we want to copy data to main memory. Then we have other write operation. The reverse. Write operation, you can see this is an instruction, store X. So what happens here? Whatever in processor register, it is written the data. X is returned to memory with store. Is the assembly level instruction. So for the read operation example is load A from memory to processor registers, and here is store X from processor registers to memory, the reverse write operation. Okay. Okay, the next topic is instructions and instruction sequencing, wherein you can see what is the instruction. We already know an instruction is a statement written in computer language. Example of computer language is C. Okay, instruction is a statement written in computer language. It may be a C language or Java or another language, and this instruction does a particular task. Maybe it may be declaring variables instruction, or maybe addition of two numbers A plus B, or maybe printing instruction, scanning instruction, or any other instruction. It does a particular task. So simply we define instruction as a statement written in any computer language. It does a particular task. Okay. So this. Okay. So the task can be adding two numbers. So the instruction can do a particular task. Okay. So the task can be adding two numbers, or testing a condition like A greater than B. If condition, maybe if A greater than B is a condition. Or reading a character from the keyboard. How do we read a character from the keyboard? Using in C language. Any guess? You already learned this, reading a character from the keyboard in C language using scanf. Or sending a character to the display on a display screen. Sending a character and printing on the monitor display. How it is done? Using printf statement. Yes. Okay. Right. These are all the tasks we can do with the help of instruction. Okay. So if we categorize, instructions are capable of performing 4 types of operations. These are the 4 types of operations instructions can do. One is data transfer between the memory and processor registers. This we are discussing from past 4 days, from last 4 classes we are discussing transfer of data transfers between memory to processor, or that is memory to processor registers, or processor registers to memory. Next is arithmetic and logic operations can be done the instruction is A plus B type of thing, even program sequencing and control, and IO transfer. So these last two we'll discuss in the later chapters. Currently we will be dealing with these two only. That is data transfers between memory and processor register. That is instructions of this type of top two only, these two. That is data transfer between memory to processor registers. How it is done with the help of instructions, or the reverse, processor registers to memory, and other one is arithmetic and logic operations with the help of instructions, right? So these are the different notations of instructions. Notation for representing instructions. So you can see a register transfer notation is one notation. RTN we call short. So this instruction, if we represent with this notation, it transfers contents to a register. It transfers contents to a register. So from where it transfers contents to register, can anybody guess? From where it transfers contents to register, from where it gets the data and transfers contents to registers. Here register means CPU registers. You need to blindly remember CPU processor registers. So transfers contents to register, but from where it gets and transfers contents to register? నా క్వశ్చన్స్ అన్నిటికీ 2-3 ఆన్సర్లే అమ్మా, తిప్పి అవే ఆన్సర్లు ఉంటున్నాయి, అవే ఉంటాయి జనరల్గా ఎన్నిసార్లు. So any guess from where data is brought and it transfers to registers? From the last few classes we are discussing is data transfers between, from where to where we are discussing? Amma, are you there in the class? I feel it's better. Are you all available on the before the monitor?
Yes.
Or better, you need to switch on your cams so that I can check whether you are on desk or not, before desk or not. Surely at random times I will ask you to switch on the cameras and I will check. Or else I will ask you to write, show your notes, what you are writing. You need to write running notes. You need to keep a running notes and you need to write the things. Whatever you learn new things in my class. Okay, so I will randomly pick one person and I will ask you to show whatever you had written to the cam. Okay, this I will do. So I want everybody to, before the laptops, and write important topics, whatever important things you had learned, new things you had learned. Okay, there are a lot of new things in this subject. So I want you to concentrate because I am repeating from the past 3-4 days, same thing. Data transfers from memory to the register or register to memory. Where are the registers? They are inside the processor. So the topic we are discussing is data transfer from memory to the processor registers or processor registers to memory. So the whatever diagrams I had shown you is on the same thing. Data transfer from memory to register or register to memory. Okay, so what are the instructions we can use to transfer this one? So we already know in C language we use variables type of thing like A, B, X, any variable we can use, var1 and so on. These are the variables. What these variables represent? They represent memory location in main memory. Remember, understand these variables. For example, I represent int A. What does A mean? A is referring to a location in main memory. When I say int var1 variable, then var1 is referring to a location in main memory. So these are user defined names we give for the location in main memory. Okay, what are the other we have variables? We have predefined names also. These are user defined. We give, they refer to main memory, but there are predefined variables which refer to processor registers like R0, R1, R2, R3, R4. These are all the predefined names, or you can say simply for our understanding predefined variables. We don't call variables them, but for our understanding we can say predefined variables. These are user defined variables. These are predefined variables, or you can say predefined names given to the processor registers. And a register can store only one word. So a single word can store in this predefined name R0, R1, R2. These are processor registers. Okay, so we have user defined names, predefined names. Okay, in between these two, so user defined names, they refer to main memory locations, and predefined names, they refer to processor registers. Between these two, there can be transfer of data. So how it happens? You can see this is an example. R2 LOC. How the data is copied from the, so you can see this when I say LOC and square brackets, the square brackets mean contents of LOC, contents referred by LOC. Okay, so contents referred by LOC. The content LOC you can have a value 5. That is a content. So square bracket means contents of. So contents of this variable LOC may be 5. 5 is copied. You can see the arrow towards left. So 5 is copied into register R2. R2 is a predefined name given for the registers. Okay, these are user defined, and from there 5 values stored into predefined registers. That is from the main memory. LOC refers to main memory. R2 refers to processor registers. So from here the 5 is copied into R2 the registers. Okay, contents of memory location LOC, this one, are transferred to processor registers R2. Okay, this is the instruction, and this notation we call as a register transfer notation RTN. This is an example of notation. Register transfer notation. What we are doing here, transferring data from main memory to the processor registers. Okay, transferring the contents from main memory to the register. Right, this one notation. Another example you can see, this is another example where we have all our predefined names given for the registers R2, R3, R4. And already said square brackets means they are contents of R2, contents of R3. So what happens in this instruction? Contents of register R2 are added with contents of register R3. If it contains 5, it contains of 6, 5 plus 6, 11 is added, and 11 is stored in R4 register. Okay, adds the content of register R2, R3 and places their sum into register R4. Okay, these are the two examples of a register transfer notation. This is one notation to denote an instruction, represent instruction. Right. Next, another notation we have is assembly language notation, wherein we need this type of we need another type of notation to represent machine instructions and programs. So to represent machine instruction programs, we have assembly level language notation. This is another notation in addition to the previous one. Example is this one, load R2 LOC. So load R2 comma LOC. Here contents of memory location LOC are transferred to processor register R2. So we had done the same thing in the previous notation also, but the representation is different. So you can see in the previous notation what we had done. We had used this one LOC, contents of main memory we copy into R2 with this one R2, the arrow and LOC. This is the notation. The same thing you want to represent with assembly level notation, assembly language notation. You can see where this is the verse. Here also it does the same thing. Contents of LOC are copied into R2 with this load mnemonic. We call as mnemonic. This type of words, load, store, and so on. We call as mnemonics. Okay. So here contents of main memory, that is LOC, are transferred into processor register R2. Okay. Another example we will see the same example, the one we had seen in the previous one, adding 2 registers and storing in the third register. So this is the statement. Add, this is the instruction actually. I need to highlight this one. Add R4, R2, R3. This is the instruction. I need to make it bold actually until here, until R3. So add R4, R2, R3. What it does, it adds R2 and R3 and stores in R4. So this one we had done in the previous notation also. You can see R2, R3 are added and stored in R4 in this register transfer notation. But in assembly language notation, this one assembly language notation, you can see this is the statement we use. Add is the mnemonic we use. Another mnemonic you can see load. So add R4, R2, R3. R2, R3 are added and stored in R4, right? Okay. And these are the instruction formats, various instruction formats. You can see 3 address instruction, different formats of instructions. 3 address instructions, that is instruction which is dealing with 3 addresses. That is R1 is a register, R2 is another register, R3 is a register. So we are trying to add contents of R1, R2 and R3. Sorry. Contents of R2 and R3 are added and stored in R1. So you can see here is an explanation of this one. So this is the instruction, add space R1, R2, R3. This is the instruction. What this instruction will do? R2, this is the explanation for this one. R2, R3, the contents of R2, contents of R3 are added. For example, 5 plus 6 are added and 11 is stored in R1. So this happens with this instruction. And this instruction we call as 3 address instructions. Because this refers to one address, this refers to one address, this refers to one address. That's the processor registers. These are predefined names for the processor registers. Okay. So add will do add space R1, R2. What it will do? Adds R2, R3 and stores in R1. So this is the explanation, Amma. Actual instruction is this is the instruction. Assembly level is instruction. This is the explanation what is happening. Okay. So this we call as 3 address instruction, one format. Next is 2 address instruction. You can see the instruction is add space R1, R2. What is happening here? Explanation is this one. R1, R2 are added and the result is stored in R1. That is contents of R1. For example, 5. Contents of R2 maybe 3. 5 plus 3 are added. 8 is stored in R1. So with this instruction, what is happening? Add space R1, R2. R1, R2 are added and the result is stored in R1 itself. And here 2 addresses, that is the one referred with the R1, referred with the R2. We are dealing with only 2 address. That's why we call as 2 address instruction. Next, 1 address instruction. Example is load A. Load A write operation to main memory. This one is. So for example, from the register, I want to copy some data to main memory. I go with this instruction load A. A is a variable referring to main memory. So a write operation to the main memory is 1 address because A is only referring to 1 address. One variable referring to 1 address. Here is 2 variables representing with 2 addresses. And 0 address instructions, you can see there is no way we are not representing any register process registers like R0, R1, or we are not representing any A also, just add. So no, we are not specifying any predefined names or user defined names here. So add, what it will do is generally we apply on stacks. So you already know in your second sem stacks offset, when we say it's add, it adds top 2 values of the stack. It adds top 2 values of stack are added. So we already know the stack concept. We go on pushing the values, first to 5, next to 6, next to 7, next to 2, next to 1. So when we say add, the top 2 values 2 and 1 are added with this one add. Okay. Next is RISC instructions. We call it as a reduced instruction set computer, RISC, reduced instruction set computer, RISC. So the computer uses fewer instructions with this. This is another format, instruction format. This is a famous one, the advanced one. RISC we call as reduced instruction set computer. So in this format, we have fewer instructions with simple constructs. So we have few instructions, simple with simple constructs, and they execute faster because they have on simple constructs. So they execute faster within the CPU, and they will not use much main memory. These instructions use only processor. Most of the time they use processor register itself. They will not much use the main memory. Okay, so these type of instructions we call as RISC instructions. So these executing of these RISC instructions, they use a lot of registers, but only less usage of main memory, only restricted to load and store operations. So example of instruction format, for example, I have a expression like a plus b in a square brackets multiplied by c plus d in another square brackets. Then in 3 address format, how it is evaluated. So this is the expression I have, this instruction I have. This need to be evaluated. This is an instruction, how it is evaluated with 3 address. So a plus b into c plus d, how it is evaluated in the assembly level language using 3 address format. Just now we had seen 3 address format. So first one is a plus b need to be added, right? So how it is done with this instruction, 3 address format. You can see 3 addresses. One is referred by R1, another address referred by A, another address referred by B. So add R1 A B. What it will do? It will add A and B, and it stores in R1 register. And remember, A and B are referring to main memory. R1 is referring to processor register. So A and B are of the main memory are added. The values in A and B referred by NB in the main memory are added, and the result is stored in R1. Okay, in R1 contains sum of A plus B now. Now next what we need to do? Sum of C plus D. So you can see add R2 CD. Now C and D are added. So these are the explanations somewhat. These are just explanations. The content of C, content of D are added and stored in R2. So these are the instructions. These are explanation of the instructions for these instructions. So C and D are added and they are stored in R2. Okay. Next, what we need to do? We need to multiply. So R1 consists of addition of sum of A and B. R2 consists of sum of C and D. So we need to multiply these two, R1 and R2, to get this one. Okay, A plus B is stored in R1 register, C plus D are stored in R2 register, and we need to multiply R1 and the values in R1 and R2. So we are multiplying values of R1 and R2, and we are storing in this X. So X is a variable referring to location in main memory. And R1, R2 we already know it's a registers. Okay. So simply we can say what we are doing. We are reading from main memory A value. Next we are reading main memory B value, and we are adding A and B, and we are storing in register R1. Similarly here also. Next we are multiplying these two, because we have the mnemonic is mul. We are multiplying these two values in these two, and we are writing to main memory's location referred by X. Okay, these are some characteristics of RISC characteristics. Relative few instructions. RISC involves few instructions, few addressing modes. Generally, the entire instruction is stored in one word. In RISC type of instructions, they are stored in single word, and memory access is limited to load and store instructions. All operations done within the registers. So it maximum uses registers instead of main memory, the RISC. So they are faster. Okay, my important from exam point of view, a RISC is very important. RISC we have other CISC also. These are very RISC is very important. Even CISC also, CISC, SC. Okay, so these RISC instructions are executed within a single CPU cycle. So we will see in future chapters what is this single cycle instruction, and hardware rather than microprogrammed control. So this one also we'll see in the later topics, future topics. Okay, these are the few characteristics of RISC. So this is also another example of how this expression is evaluated with the help of, so this one using risk instruction. So this is an instruction how it is evaluated using risk, because risk uses only registers, do not use main memory. So you can see it uses only load and store operations. So you can see how it is evaluated. C is equal to A and B. So first A is loaded into register R1. A is loaded into register R1. Next B is loaded into register R2. B is loaded into register R2. And you can see R1 and R2 are added and stored in R3. And from R3 it is loaded into C. We get the result in C. So once go through this one, you will understand these things. Okay. Next we will continue the tomorrow's class at 4:30. Let me look at the attendance once. Ma, are you able to understand? The last few minutes, maybe I'm a little bit fast to cover the topic. Are you able to and one more thing, I'll give you the entire recording of this lecture, so that if you are able to get few things, you can go through the video once again. You can move the slider to a particular location and you can once again listen the class. Okay, I will provide the recording. So let me check the attendance once. So meanwhile, you go with the risk characteristics. These are important. So I'll check the attendance meanwhile. $77 absent. 70. B19 CS 160. Do you have in your class this number? B19 CS
Yes,
160.
Yes, sir.
Okay, 77 is absent. 160 also present. Okay, so I want okay, yeah, if you have any queries, you can ask me, and if possible, you can attend at 3:30 the given link. Okay, if you have any queries, please stay back and ask me doubts. I will stay for a few minutes. You can until you all leave. So if you have doubts, you can stay back, or else you can leave. So those who have doubts, stay back and ask me any clarity, any revision if you want. I will revise once again.